Planning Commission for Orion Township for March 18th, 2026. Can I have a roll call, please?
Reynolds, absent with notice. Gross.
Here.
Joshua. Urbanowski.
Here.
Walker, absent with notice. Jones. Lovett.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is minutes of March the 4th, 2026.
I move to approve the minutes from March 4th, 2026, the regular meeting minutes as presented.
Support.
Support.
Support by Levitt. All in favor? Any questions? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Support.
Support. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item, brief public comment. Anybody from the public who would like to make any comments on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move along. There's nothing under the consent agenda, which recognize Mr. Joshua is present. Nothing on the consent agenda, so move along to the new business. We've got two items under new business. I'd just like to indicate that these items are companion items. They kind of work together. They're on adjoining parcels by the same applicant, and there are a number of waivers requested for both requests. If the applications were combined into a single development parcel, a number of these requested waivers would not be necessary. However, we do have two separate applications, so we will have to consider them independently. The first item is PC 2522, Hyatt House Hotel Site Plan Amendment located at 95 Brown Road, being parcel 0932 378 075. Would the applicant like to make a presentation regarding the amendment?
Yep. So presentation for the amendment. Good evening, actually. Iden Calabat Engineering. Business address for the record is 31333 Southfield Road, Suite 250. So for the site plan amendment, I'll keep it kind of short and just verbal and save the main presentation for the special land use portion of it. But the amendment is, for the Hyatt House site plan, is really geared at adding additional parking, converting an area of the site that is currently has parallel parking into perpendicular parking, which in doing so would effectively put the parking at the property line, at the current property line of the Hyatt House site. But we're kind of developing the entirety of these properties as kind of one congruent development. So there will be cross-access, cross-parking agreements shared between both parcels. So we're, as you mentioned, the fact that the hard property lines are there is what necessitates a lot of the waivers around some of these requirements. But the intent is to design a site that is cohesive and interactive between the properties. So the Hyatt House Hotel, we're going to be amending the parallel parking to perpendicular, bringing it up to that lot line, and also granting an easement for the development of the Brown Road Plaza next to it. The landscaping that is currently there is designed to be pushed back into the landscape island that'll separate both sites. And then the Brown Road Plaza has its own landscaping requirements and plantings that are associated with that approval too. Really, any other questions you guys have on the site plan amendment, I'm happy to answer.
Take it over to our planner to review this relative to the ordinance requirements.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners, and thanks for the amended plan and addressing several of the questions that we had. As the Chairman indicated, these are tied together directly with the property next door, and without that kind of issue, I would have concerns with the waivers requested, and especially the parking, and taking those parallel parking spaces and making them 90-degree angles. That all works for me in regards to our review, and you had a chance to look at that. I didn't have too many issues with this, so I had more with the Brown Road project. I think it's important, and you understand this, is that we've got to have these easements in place for the cross connection. And so that's going to be a condition of approval, that we have not only the parking, but also these cross connection easements that are all going to be tied together. We did have some questions on the transplanted material, where that's going to be. You're taking out some landscaping, right? And so I think any amended plan is going to need to show where that's going to be moved to. And I'll say the same thing, I guess, when we get to the Brown Road, but if you can explain if the township's going to grant those kind of waivers, especially the green belt and the parking, I would want you to beef up the landscaping in other areas of the property.
What are your concerns?
My concerns, Mr. Joshua? I don't have any real concerns except to show a few things on the landscape plan, a revised landscape plan, and making sure that we have easements.
Okay. Commission, any questions you have of the petitioner or of the planner? This request, there are 6 motions that are required to accommodate this. Some with the, in fact, most of them are with the greenbelt landscaping. So, any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I do have a few items that I'd like to discuss with you prior to any motions being made. Thank you. Overall, we felt the plan was in compliance. We only had a few items remaining. This was our 3rd review. I'll go through those 3 items real quick and give a brief explanation. Number 1, we're asking that the transition and associated hatching for the southernmost parking space to the 20-foot drive aisle west of the canopy be revised. It's too abrupt. They're doing a partial lane shift right at the canopy, and we're just asking them to smooth that out, make that transition at least 22 feet in length. Number 2, there appears to be an inconsistency regarding the dimensioning of the parking stalls around the Hyatt House Hotel when compared to the original approved site plan. I think what we're getting at there is, if you look at the old original approved site plan, the parking stalls were dimensioned 19 feet deep to a line of demarcation 2 feet behind back curb for overhang, and that slope behind the back of curb was held basically flat to accommodate that. So just looking for some consistency there on the amended plan. And then 3, we're asking them to revise the plans to show an easement for the portion of the proposed parking spaces along the west property line, then encroach onto the Brown Road Plaza property.
Okay, apologize for not recognizing you earlier, but since this was an existing development, I assume most of the stuff was under
Not a problem.
compliance.
Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Turn over to the commission.
Well, okay, so we've got 6
Yes,
waivers. So,
6 motions.
well, yes, waiver,
Yep, 6 waivers.
6, yeah, 5 waivers, 1
And
motion.
the
So
site plan,
can we have a little short discussion about each one of the waivers before we say anything about them? So the parking setback waiver, is it my understanding, am I correct? Because looking for a waiver from 20 feet to 0 feet because it's essentially the same parking area, right? Is that? Yeah,
Not to the west. They're changing it from the parallel to the 90-degree, And in order to do that, they're squeezing up against the property line.
Okay. And that's acceptable to you think?
I do because of the fact that they're intricate to each other.
Okay. I just want to make sure go ahead.
I wanted to point out also that it was noticed after the reviews that came in that the parking spots actually encroach on the other development that we'll be discussing tonight. And after talking to the applicant, I mean, we discussed an easement. An easement could be granted, allowing the parking to be partially on the other parcel. So as you'll see, that's within the suggested motion, that criteria.
And the same with the Greenbelt waiver then?
Well,
Is
if
that-
your parking spot's already going over into the other parcel, there's no way you can have a green belt.
Right, I just want to make sure that we're saying something about each one of these, is all I'm saying.
Again, staff, as we were looking at this, I think the suggested motions, we spent hours looking at it. I think it's all covered.
Okay, what about the space there and the maximum of how many foot candles on that waiver? They're looking for a waiver of that, and how many are we talking?
So that, I mean, that's where I think you have to discuss, to explain, looking at this plan that's up in front of you. If you've got, looking at okay, do you want to handle that, Aiden? Looking
Yeah, I
at.
can.
Do you want to explain it?
I can, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of the required foot candle waiver is because you've got, if you look at the screen, we've got the area between the two, the property line that kind of runs between the two parking, that has light poles on both sides of it, and we've shown the lighting from both developments. Over there, we don't have an issue. Where the issue comes into play is the southern property line, which cuts the parking lot across. And over there, if you were to meet the ordinance requirement for 0 foot candle, or for like very low foot candles, I forget what the exact is, 0.1, you're essentially rendering the middle of your parking lot dark. So that is, part of the reason why we're requesting that waiver there, is because although there is a hard property line along the southern edge of the Brown Road Plaza which is kind of a section cut in along Brown Road, that effectively that entire portion of the Hyatt House parcel is granted as an easement to the Brown Road Plaza, and we'll have, they'll have the easement rights over it, there's maintenance. So it would be, if you try and strictly adhere to the foot candle requirement at that property line, you'd be not in compliance with your parking lot illumination requirements, and
They will be down shielded lights.
they will be down shielded lights, yes. Yep.
Question was, what's the maximum foot candles that we're?
Inserting in there. Yeah, that's my question. What's the,
Under motion 5, it says adjacent to, from one maximum foot candle to a maximum of what foot candle?
Yeah, we needed that to be addressed, and we didn't have that information, so that needs to be incorporated into the,
We can put that on the drawings if it's,
oh,
but we've got to have a,
for the motion, we have to
yeah, of
something to put in there.
oh, what the maximum would be at the
Yeah.
property line?
Yeah, because it's blank. We don't know what,
You know what, grant me a moment, I gotta look at that. I can't zoom in on
Absolutely.
that foot candle to see.
you could give a maximum as long as it's not crazy.
right.
2 would functionally, if you wanted to give yourself some room, we
Excuse me.
can go to.
I'm sorry. I was just told that we're having technical difficulty, and we have to take a recess for a second. Mr. Chair, if you could recess for a moment while they work on that.
Recess for 5 minutes?
I'll go see how long it's going to take. Thank you.
So we can, if you will, we would request 2.5-foot candles at that property line maximum.
Okay, perfect. 2.5 is not too much?
It's fine at that location, and if you, the less you can go, the better, but we know you gotta have security and lighting there, and you're not increasing the height, and it's gonna be down shielded, so that's cool.
Any other questions of the commission? If not, someone would like to start off with the, one of the motions. There are 6 of them that are required.
I move that the planning commission approves an off-street parking setback waiver from the required 20 feet to 0 feet on both the western and southern boundary, as well as the northern boundary adjacent to 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378058 for PC 25-22 Hyatt House Site Plan Amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel number 0932378075, referencing plans date stamped, received February 20th, 2026, subject to landscaping or screening requirements. This approval is based on the following conditions: the easement to allow Hyatt House parking to cross over the west boundary line, reviewed and approved by township attorney and staff. Demolition of houses located on 4921 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378063, and 491 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378058.
Is there
Support.
motion support? Any other questions?
Okay, clarification on the addresses. So demolition is 4941 Georgia Drive and 4921 Georgia Drive, right?
Amend my support, yes.
I amend my motion.
Roll call?
Lovett,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Urbanowski,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next motion required is a greenbelt waiver, greenbelt width waiver. Is there a motion to consider that request? This is for the west 20 feet, required 20 feet on the west boundary and the northern boundary. Basically in the same area as the parking setback waiver was.
I move that the planning commission approve a green belt width waiver from required 20 feet to 0 feet on both the west boundary and the northern boundary adjacent to 4961 Georgia Drive. Wait, is that the right address? Okay. You got me questioning everything. Parcel number 0932378058 for PC 25-22 Hyatt House Site Plan Amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel number 0932378075, referencing plans date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based on the following: economic impact. These are 2 adjacent lots utilizing the same parking lot or adjacent parking lots. Quality of architectural design and the overall capacity or compatibility with that district, being adjacent to a hotel. And this approval is based on the following conditions: demolition of the houses located on 4921 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378063 and 3941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378058.
Support?
Support.
Motion supported.
I'm sorry, Mr. Motion Maker, you keep transposing the address. It's on the suggested motion correctly, and you keep saying it wrong.
4921?
The second one, 4941.
What do I keep saying?
39, I don't know.
Okay,
but-
4941 Georgia Drive is the second address.
Amend my support.
Roll call?
Gross,
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next motion is required is the greenbelt width waiver adjacent to the road on Brown Road.
I move that the planning commission approve the greenbelt with adjacent to road waiver from required 20 feet to 7 feet on southern boundary for PC 25-22, Hyatt House site plan amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel number 09-32-378-075, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based upon the following findings of fact, both in the economic impact, quality of the architectural design, and the overall compatibility with the district and being adjacent.
Support?
Support.
Questions by the commission? If not, roll call, please.
Should we be asking for public comment? Sorry.
Any public comment regarding the motion? Seeing none? Call the question.
Gross?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion number 4 is the landscape screening between the uses. This is in recognition of the fact that there will be an adjoining development parcel by the same applicant on the property to the west.
I move that the planning commission approve a landscaping screening waiver on both the west boundary and the northern boundary adjacent to 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058 for PC 25-22, Hyatt House site plan amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel number 09-32-378-075, referencing plans, date stamped February 20th, 2026. The approval is granted based on the following findings of fact: economic impact, quality of architectural design, overall compatibility with the district, and again, adjacent properties.
Support.
Urbanowski. Any comments from the public? Not, roll call, please.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion relates to the site illumination, as we discussed earlier, about the waiver for the maximum foot candle. Is there
I'll do that one. I move that the planning commission approve the Biz District site illumination lighting waiver for the 1.0 maximum foot candle to a maximum of 2.5 foot candles on both the west boundary and the northern boundary adjacent to 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel 09-32-378-058 for PC 2522, Hyatt House site plan amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel 09-32-378-075, referencing site plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based on the following findings of fact: economic impact, quality of architectural design, overall compatibility with the district, and the adjacent uses of the property next door.
support by Jones? Any comments from the public? Not, roll call, please.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'll take on the last motion for site plan. Move that the planning commission approves the site plan approval for PC 2522, the Hyatt House site plan amendment located at 95 Brown Road, parcel 09-32-378-075, referencing the plans, dates stamped and received February the 20th, 2026, based upon the fact that the previous motions take into account waivers that were required necessary. The cross-access agreement be reviewed and approved by the township attorney and staff. There be an easement to allow Hyatt House parking to cross over the west boundary line, reviewed and approved by the township attorney and staff. and that any unresolved issues related to the planner's review of their report of March the 6th of 2026, and the township engineers' unresolved issues of their report of March 11th, 2026. There's a motion to approve the plan as amended.
Support.
Motion and supported. Any public comments? Not?
The agreement between properties for that easement, if, let's say they, I don't know who owns it, if it sells
They do.
one day, it follows,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Any other questions? Not? Roll call, please.
Jones,
Yes.
Urbanowski,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Lovett.
Yes.
Motion carries.
PC 2522 has been approved. Next item on the agenda is the adjoining parcel, PC 2518, Brown Road Plaza Special Land Use and Site Plan located at 4961 Georgia Drive and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive being parcels 0932, 378, 061, and 0932, 378, 058. This is a new plan. Would the applicant like to present this?
Absolutely. Do you want me to present, or do you guys want to give your reviews prior to, and then I can do it after?
I think I'd prefer that you give the commission and kind of an overview of what you're doing, and then we can tell you what you're doing wrong.
Wonderful. Sounds good. I'm gonna bring this one up here for a little easier access. Okay, so, as we've discussed already, we've got right now, 4 existing parcels which are up on your screen, the Hyatt House Hotel site and 3 single-family residential homes. The plan is to combine the 3 single-family residential lots and split, those are the legal descriptions, split them into 2 properties, one that will remain kind of a vacant lot, the other one which will contain the first portion, the currently proposed development, the Brown Road Plaza. The Hyatt House site will remain. There will be the cross-access, cross-parking easements as shown here in the cross-hatching. So this will allow for the Brown Road Plaza to utilize this portion of the Hyatt House Hotel site for access and parking. Further, we will have the cross-access areas to allow the Hyatt House site to cross through the Brown Road Plaza property, and, access Georgia Drive and the other parking areas. The parking here is not being shared back with the Hyatt House. That was a question that came up in one of the review comments, so just to clarify that, we will need to add as part of the SPA, that was the amendment, the easement along the east-west, the property line here, the west property line of the Hyatt House site, to allow the parking encroachment from that Hyatt House onto the Brown Road. So that will be added, is not shown on this exhibit, but that will be added per the previous motion and approval. And so we will ultimately have 2 parcels. One would be the vacant parcel, and the second would be the, developed commercial property. So on that parcel, the development is shown as here. We've got basically a 3-tenant retail building with a drive-through end cap. We're currently working with Big B Coffee to secure the lease for that drive-through end cap, and it's likely to be signed very shortly, so happy to announce that. The other 2 tenants are, generic, basic retail, consistent with the biz zoning district. I'm trying to find some of the elements of the site is we looked at how we can do some larger developments in these areas, and ultimately we determined that while our future long-term goals are to continue to acquire properties in that area and that biz district, and grow the commercial development footprint and achieve the master plan goals of that district, we wanted to get started by putting at least an anchor piece here on the corner with a drive-through end cap on it. So the site fronts Georgia Drive over here. It does have a side yard boundary with the Hyatt House parcel here. The other side yard would be another commercial development to the north, and the rear yard is facing the Hyatt House property there. We've got parking all around. The dumpster enclosures, as shown here, may look and appear, quite large for the size of that building. The intent is that those would be a centrally located dumpster, because ultimately, when we develop further to the north, the driveway approach from Georgia Drive here would be a shared drive as well for that parcel. So minimizing access off of Georgia Drive, trying to consolidate those. As part of that, we've got the dumpster enclosure here set up in size for future growth and expansion. So it's really set there to accommodate additional development to the north, so that it would be a common element between both parcels. So, but as we are only here with the one development today, that's why I see it looking, large enough to fit 3 dumpsters, and realistically, that commercial building doesn't need 3 dumpsters, but there's the logic behind that. We basically are carrying a lot of the front yard parking that we have set up and set back along Brown Road from the Hyatt House, very similar effect over here along Brown Road as part of this portion of it. We're extending there's an existing parking lot on this portion of the site that will be extended and continued. There are retaining walls and knee walls that satisfy we actually exceed the biz district requirements for the knee wall features to be at a lot of the intersections. Instead, we've basically provided that aesthetic along the entire frontage of the property. And it has, I believe we've got some areas, actually, I'm sorry. The back side of that screen wall, the high side doubles as a retaining wall and screen wall. So the back side, the parking lot side, will be set high enough for, 3'6", or I'm sorry, at least 30 inches, 3 feet. I don't have the details in front of me. But provides the necessary fall protection for any height difference, grade difference that you have there, which is consistent with what we have over at the Hyatt site. So again, a lot of consistency in one site to the other. And the materials, as you see when we get to the elevations and renderings, complement that building as well, too. We went through a couple of conversations with staff regarding the drive-through operations and circulation, and I think we've got an alignment that all seem to be pretty happy with. There's a handful of items that we have from both planning and engineering that we've reviewed, and I'll get to those here shortly, actually. The photometric was mainly for our conversations regarding that Hyatt House. So you guys have seen that. I think we can move past photometrics. So, and this is kind of where John's comments are summarized here. So we will be updating the setbacks according to his comments, and we've got basic responses to each of these. But in general, the consensus is that we will comply and adhere, revise according to their comments. We have no issues with the staff's comments there. Likewise on engineering comments as well too. First one of which would be the right turn taper requirement at Brown Road and Georgia Drive, and we'll work closely with RCOC to get that permitted and approved based on their requirements and approvals of that. There's some utility work that needs to be relocated, so we've got to work closely with them on it. Also, stormwater, all the other items really are we can modify and change as required per the staff's comments. We have no issues with it. And then we've got some renderings of the site, so you can see trying to go with very modern look, high quality materials, brick, stone, and cladding materials that, complement and contrast. The color scheme is drawing off of the hotel behind it, with the beiges and the red bricks. So again, we've got it set up for 3 tenants. Again, the first of which is currently secured. We still have 2 vacancies, which are the 2 right-hand vacancies in this picture here. And then that is kind of the look of the drive-through canopy, drive-through around the building. We will be working with them to, place their signage and menu boards and things like that too. And again, this is on the site. And a video of what it'll look look like when we've got them both in there. So we're really trying to densify a lot of the landscaping in between the two sites. So you see a lot of that dense landscaping there. I know we are deficient in, one of the comments was the tree replacement requirement. We've got over 80 trees required for replacement, and that is a result of cutting down a handful, like the 3 or 4 landmark trees, which are very large in diameter size. So when you add up their caliper inch, existing caliper inches, we ended up with 80 required trees to be replaced at 2-inch caliper. We obviously don't have enough room on site for 80 trees at 2 inches in caliper. We've got 30 shown, which exceeds the requirements for parking lot and shade landscaping. And we're requesting a waiver, we're requesting the planning commission allow us to contribute to the Orion Township Tree Fund in lieu of the additional 50 trees. And that's really just a matter of spatial constraint. And then really here to answer any other questions you guys have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This technology never ceases to amaze me how awesome it is. It's a great looking overall project. Could you go back to, you had a slide addressing my concerns. We can just kind of walk through those quick.
Absolutely.
And then probably go on to our engineers. So setback updated, tree replacement, you addressed that. Parking lot setback, shared parking easement, like we talked about with the other Hyatt House. Loading, unloading. Are these box trucks? You don't get many semis in these kind of uses.
No, most likely not. They'll be box trucks, and we'll try and require the tenants to have, to restrict their loading, unloading hours to, off-peak hours as well, too, as best we can.
And you said that the dumpster location and dumpster will be possibly used in the future, and then the director and I were chatting, and is it possible to look at a cross-connection easement? I mean, I know you own the parcel to the north, but if you sell it, we want to maybe have the idea that you're driving up, rather than getting on Georgia Street, you can internally have an easement on that north side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was something we were going to probably do as we develop that next function, but we can, I don't think we'll have an issue with establishing that. We're writing up the easements already.
Yeah, while you're writing up the easements, we just
Exactly.
like to have that cross-connection
Yep.
opportunity
Yeah, we can do that now.
and show it on the plan. There's nothing, I get frustrated when I drive around uses like this and I have to head out to the street and go, I want to go to 2 places, I'd rather just stay inside. Loading, zoning, pedestrian access, drastic change. I'm not so sure you need new sidewalks, but maybe some hash marks, so direct pedestrians to get into the shop. Just a better job of doing that. I know there's some topography and things like that, but I want residents, if they're riding their bike or walking, to be able to at least find a location to cross safely.
Okay, we can do that.
Look at that. 20-foot landscape buffer and the waiver for trash receptacle and then the other waivers are all part of our overall motion. You meet the special land use requirements, so with these and on a new plan, shown on a new plan, we'd recommend approval of the project.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I'm already there. So yeah, we overall, we were fine with the plan. We just had some cleanup items, as listed here. Number 1 was adding a right turn taper on a Brown at Georgia. It's shown as being warranted in the traffic study. So ultimately, we'll defer to RCOC on that as far as an approval. So I'm glad to see the applicant's willing to take that step. Number 2 was pertaining to stormwater infiltration requirement. Some sites have impervious soils and can't infiltrate. And so what we're asking is that they follow the calculation of maximum extent practical to show that at least the landscaping that they have shown on the plan and or being into a tree fund would help satisfy that requirement. So we can work with the applicant through that process. Number 3, we were asking for ADA ramps to be on both sides of Georgia Drive. It appears that that's an acceptable request, and they will revise the plans accordingly. Number 4, there were just some cleanup items needed for the basis of design for the water and the sewer. Based on the responses I'm seeing here, it looks like they're finding those changes acceptable, and we'll work through those with them. So, and number 5 was, of course, the requirement that they submit engineering plans to follow up once site plan approval is granted. So, okay. You're welcome.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, turn it over to the planning commission for comments, questions, concerns. I have one on the Georgia Drive, the knee wall that is along, frontage along
Yeah.
Brown by George. I'm concerned that that angle of the Brown Road traffic is such that, is that going to obstruct some of the traffic vision coming in?
It should not, no. We basically, at the approach, the existing approach onto Brown Road from, or into the site from Brown Road for the Hyatt House has basically flared the retaining walls in so that you've got that clear vision triangle. And then as we get to Georgia Drive, the knee wall actually,
Curve right there.
yeah, it'll curve with the property line, and it'll leave out, it will not occupy that right-of-way space. That there's a large, actually, you know what, let me go back to the site plan, I can show you a little bit better. But over in, you see it'll kind of come over here, so you've got plenty of clear vision across that intersection, across that corner, and I realize now that my mouse is not showing up on the projectors as I thought it was this entire time. But at the bottom of the screen, you see how the right-of-way curves out a lot more. So that area is not hindered, the walls curving with the parking lot and staying outside of that area.
Commissioners?
I had a question on the tree replacement waiver. You'd mentioned you wanted to request to pay into the Orion Township Tree Fund. Was there a dollar amount that you had, were suggesting?
I believe we were going to obtain some quotes on the required landscaping from a register. I think staff has a protocol for that, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we calculate that afterwards based on the 80 trees
Yeah.
at the 3.5 caliper, whatever that kind of can equal out to. And so that would be done by our, I think, through HM Forester cost, something like that. Did we use?
Typically,
Don't do it that, I think, if I recalling correctly, you give us what you say you feel it is, and we go through our verification process to make sure it's a agreed-upon reasonable amount. And I'm sorry, I have to say that having a hard time hearing Mr. Gross and Mr. Jones, so please speak into your microphone.
Yeah, we can provide, I mean, our intent was to provide like a, cost of what that would be in lieu of planting them. So basically match what the planting cost would be, and that would be the amount. If there's a possibility we can plant them on the adjacent parcel, or then we can look into that in the future, but I'm not sure if there's the ability to bank them against future developments in the ordinance.
The ordinance states that, you can offer another location that we feel is a public location, and we can accept it, or we can accept it as going to the tree fund.
Yeah.
So, the problem being if it's on an adjacent site that doesn't have irrigation, then isn't going to thrive, and, if it's not developed and there's, weeds, is it gonna thrive? So, I know we had another project that the applicant, actually, the planning commission, I don't know if you remember, some of you might, they were not happy that they had not done what their plan said, and they didn't want them to contribute to the tree fund, so they made them find a location, a public, and they actually ended up working with the schools and planting a few trees at the school. This is a different situation. It's not a development that went in and didn't do what they were supposed to do. So I think, the tree fund is there for that reason, and then Parks and Paths and that department looks at that fund in areas that the fund can be used for planting trees in an area that is beneficial to the community.
And overall, I think it contributing to the tree fund for the township is a better option than forcing them to plant it somewhere, because then if you can aggregate several developments that have contributed to that tree fund and do more, larger scale tree projects and plantings throughout, so. But yeah, we're happy to provide kind of an estimate of what it would cost for 50 and contribute that.
Thank you.
What are the hours of operation of the drive-through restaurant?
Probably will be 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I don't know exactly, because we don't intend to operate it. But as long as do we have any restrictions in the ordinance for hours of operation?
Actually, one of the special land uses they've applied for, one is for a drive-through, the other is extended hours. So that is one of the things you're deliberating on tonight, is whether you're going to grant the special land use request for extended hours, and then if so, what are those hours?
So is the extended hour, that's the waiver motion number 2, correct? Yeah. So that doesn't apply to the drive-through, to the potential Big B? Is that?
That is for the potential,
That's
yes.
Big B only for that one? Or is that for like the whole building?
I believe the way we applied for it would be for the whole building. And I would, if the thought process being that if the Big B as a fast casual drive-through would benefit from it, I wouldn't want another fast casual restaurant that doesn't have the drive-through to not have the same, rights of the hours of operation as, their immediate competitor right next door to them.
But it could be, but we don't have an intended use for it, right? So we don't know exactly what we're saying yes to, a 24-hour or for extended hours.
I mean, it's your option. As you said, he's asking for the whole building. If you don't have a comfort level not knowing what it is, then it might be appropriate to say for this, and then once he knows his user, he can come back.
Right. Yeah, that's just my, I don't, not that you would, but like in my brain, I don't want it to be like a 24-hour vape shop. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I would like to know, like,
I-
what could potentially, not that you would, that's the first thing that popped into my head.
Is did the request, was the request for 24 hours? I thought we had a,
Extended hours, I'm sorry, I might have said 24-hour, extended hours. Anything over, I can look it up, it's either 18 or 19 hours is considered extended hours and a special land use, and you have to have approval. So that's what we advertised for, extended hours, not specifically, but in the motion, we ask for, what are going to be the hours? Is it 24 hours operation, or is it, this time to this time equating 20 hours, equating 19 hours? That is part of the fill-in what your approval is.
I mean, I'd say I wouldn't anticipate it being more than 5 a.m. to midnight. I mean, midnight is late too. I mean,
My comfort level with approving extended hours for things are knowing what's going in before I say yes to it. I would be okay with the Big B, but I would like to know what other things are going in there before approving the other parts of the building. Can we do that? Can we say, can we approve the Big B portion of it or the drive-through portion of it?
You can put whatever conditions you want on your extended hour. And I did look, extended hours is anything after, beyond 18 hours.
I just Googled, Big B coffees around here to see what their hours are. The one in, let's see, Auburn Hills, 9 to 8, and then Sunday is 10 to 6. And Another one in Auburn Hills is 6 AM to 8 PM, and the Oxford one is 6 AM to, I believe, 8 PM as well.
Well, I'm considering that it's next door to the hotel. There are gonna be people that are gonna wanna, get coffee pretty early probably, so, I mean, like, I think 6 PM, especially because it's Biz District, right? I would be okay with 6 to, like, next 6 to 9, yeah, something like that.
That's not extended, though. That would just be normal.
Is it normal then?
It's 18 hours.
Is it 18? Oh, well, then I guess it wouldn't. So if it was over 18, then really, you're looking at a 24-hour place, right? I mean, who's gonna do 19 hours? If you're gonna extend it, you might as well go 24,
I
right?
wouldn't think a Big B Coffee would need
More than,
extended.
yeah. No, I don't, yeah. I don't think you'd need extended. I think for other potential tenants, I'd like to know what they are before saying yes to it.
Yeah. We're happy to say that, we're happy to meet in the middle and say that if a tenant desires extended hours, that we have to come to this body for
Yeah.
approval of extended hours for any.
That's right, they'd have to come back. So if you give it for extended hours for Big B, great. If any
Right.
future uses can have up to 18 hours, but if they want more, they've got to come back.
Okay. So rather than saying just no, because it's,
Yeah,
right, got it.
yeah,
understood.
yeah. And so those other two uses, depending on what they are, can be open 18 hours, but if you're going to be more, come see us.
Come see, yeah.
So it would be appropriate to say approve it for the Big B portion of it or the drive-through portion of it only? And then if there are other tenants who want beyond 18 hours, they'd have to come back here. Would that be?
I think if you say Big B in case that falls through and he ends up with a different one, I think you'd say his drive-through.
Just drive-through, right?
That's truly what you want to
Right.
walk away with is at least the drive-through portion, then I don't think you say who it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if you say that, though, then any drive-through that comes in
Have those.
on this sign on this building would have it, whatever the drive-through use is.
Because the Big B deal is not even, it's not signed yet.
I believe the lease, we did send them the signed lease just recently, in the last week.
Gotcha.
And so it's pretty locked in.
Cool.
I mean, I'd be happy if the motion was for a drive-through coffee shop, if you wanted to leave it open instead of Big B. A drive-through coffee shop would, from, maybe 5 AM to 10 PM, it would be, considering 9 to 6 is normal hours, and we really only want to give them, another hour each side. I don't think the coffee shop needs to be open till midnight. Nobody should be drinking coffee that
If I'm staying in the Hyatt place, I'm just going to your lobby,
way. Exactly,
wherever the closest source is.
yeah. Around that time, you're searching for something else to drink, not coffee.
Right, right.
Okay, any other questions of the commission? Concerns? Issues? If not, we have 11 motions to consider.
Zoinks.
So if anybody would like to start off, the first motion is the approval of a special land use for a drive-through restaurant on the subject property.
We might as well eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? I move that the Planning Commission approve a special land use request for a drive-through restaurant for PC 2518 Brown Road Plaza located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932378061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932378058, referencing plans date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is based on the following findings of fact. It is compatible with the adjacent uses. Compatibility, it is compatible with the master plan. There are adequate public services. There are no detrimental impacts on traffic, no detrimental effects on surrounding areas. Hold on one sec, give me a minute, I want to make sure. It does, in fact, enhance the surrounding environment, specifically the Hyatt House and that area of biz that is catering to traveling folks. Isolation of land use. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm reading it again. I didn't memorize the whole thing, sorry, one sec. It will not result in a small non-residential area being substantially surrounded by incompatible uses. And the approval is subject to the following conditions. Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to find that page again. I am so sorry, you guys. The creation of the proposed .94 acre parcel should be made condition of a special land use approval. The planning commission consideration to waive a 10 acre requirement for ancillary uses, so we'd be okay with it being smaller than 10 acre. And the technical review of the public utilities and traffic impact study by the township's engineering consultant to help determine the impacts of the proposal. I think I got that all. Did I get that all?
Support.
Support by Jones. Any other comments of the planning commission? Any comments from the public? Not a roll call, please.
Lovett,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Urbanowski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. The next special land use relates to the hours of operation of the proposed drive-through restaurant, or of the plaza.
I'll do this one too. I move that the planning commission approve a special land use request for extended hour use PC 2518 Brown Road Plaza located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932378061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932378058, referencing plans date stamped received February 20th, 2026. This approval is based on the following findings of facts. It's compatible with adjacent uses, compatible with the master plan, adequate public services, there are no impact on traffic, no detrimental effects. It does enhance the surrounding environment, and it doesn't create isolation of existing uses. This approval is subject to the following conditions. The conditions will be that this applies only to the property or the space that is the drive-through, specifically for a coffee shop. Hours of operation would be limited to 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Is that what we said? 10 p.m.? Yeah, yeah. I know, it's not extended, but I mean, it's still, I don't want to say no, but 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Any approvals for the other two spaces in the building for extended hours need to come back to the planning commission for approval for special land use.
Support. Support. Support by Lovett. Any questions, comments from the public? Not a roll call, please.
Jones,
I've got a question. Sorry.
Yep.
Just to clarify, so this motion is for extended hours use, correct? But under the current ordinance, it's 18 hours as it stands. We're asking for hours underneath that. And I guess I'm a little bit unclear of why we need the motion to extend hours when we're not extending hours.
My question, the reason that I asked that was because I wanted to make clear that we weren't denying like the entire building, or that we were saying that we were okay with the drive-through for these particular hours.
But if they're not
But anything,
over 18
yeah,
hours,
so I
then we
don't- I
don't need
mean-
an extended hour.
Can we, as an applicant, rescind that request?
yes, you can.
Can I consider that request rescinded? I think we misunderstood this when we were applying at the time, and given the discussion and understanding of it now, I think we rescind that request. We don't need
Right.
more than 18
Yeah,
hours of
because
operation.
The 5 to 11 would be, I guess, your maximum hours,
be
5
maximum.
a.m. to 11 p.m., and that's still
Yeah.
under 8, that's still
That's
18.
18
so
hours.
still-
Yeah, and I don't see us needing anything beyond that. So if a tenant does come in and wants to have that, then at that time, we will bring that special land use forward. But I think we would respectfully like to rescind the request for that.
It's not necessary.
So we need to remove the motion on the floor.
Okay, rescind my motion then.
Rescind my support.
Okay.
Hey,
No, that was the only thing that I was trying to get across, was that we weren't denying for the whole building, because, without. the only other-
okay, we can go to motion 3, which is granting a waiver of the 10-acre requirement on a .94 acre site.
I'll move that the planning commission approves a waiver from the required 10-acre minimum land area for an ancillary commercial for PC 25-18 Brown Road Plaza, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted because the proposed project does promote the economic development goals of the township based on the master plan and the adjacent uses.
Support.
Jones, any comments from the public? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion number 4, this is a off-street parking setback waiver from the 20 feet on the northeast and west boundaries, and 0 feet on the south boundaries of the subject property.
I move that the planning commission approve the off-street parking setback waiver from the required 20 feet to varying feet on the north, east, and west boundaries, and 0 feet on the south boundary for PC-25-18 Brown Road, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058, referencing plans dated stamped, received February 20th, 2026, subject to landscaping or screening requirements. And this approval is based upon the following conditions: that the demolition of houses located on 4921 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-063, and 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058.
Support.
Motion support, any comments from the public? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Gross?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're getting there. Motion 5, a greenbelt width waiver of the required 20 feet on the north, east, and west boundaries, and 0 feet on the south.
I move that the planning commission approve a greenbelt width waiver from the required 20 feet to varying width on the north, east, and west boundaries, and 0 feet on the southern boundary for PC-25-18 Brown Road Plaza, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. The approval is based upon the following findings of fact: the increased economic impact, again, the quality of architectural design, and overall compatibility with the district. The approval is based upon one condition: that the demolition of houses located on 4921 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-063, and 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058.
Support.
Motion supported. Any comments from the public? Not, roll call, please.
Gross?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion 6 is another landscape adjacent to Georgia Road waiver. Waiver from the 20-foot green belt with a berm and knee wall installed instead.
I move that the planning commission approve a landscape adjacent to Georgia Road waiver from the required 20 feet green belt with a berm or knee wall to varying green belt width without a berm or knee wall on the west boundary for PC-25-18 Brown Road Plaza located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. The approval is based upon the following findings of fact, the increased economic impact, again, quality of architectural design, and overall compatibility with the district.
Thank you. Support by Lovett. Any comments from the public? Not? Roll call, please.
Lovett?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion number 7 is landscape screening between the uses, and waiver from the required trees, shrubs, wall, fence, or berm on the northeast and south boundaries.
Move that the planning commission approve a landscape screening waiver from the required trees, shrubs, wall, fence, and berm on the northeast and southern boundaries for PC 25-18 Brown Road Plaza located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 09-32-378-058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based on the following economic positive impact, quality of architecture design, and overall compatibility with the district.
Support.
Support. Any comments from the public? If not, roll call, please.
Lovett?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion number 8 is the Biz District lighting waiver. This is a requirement to waive the required bronze shoebox LED on a square pole fixtures. Any comments of the commission on that? Motion would be,
I move that the planning commission approve the interior biz district lighting waiver from the required bronze shoebox LED on a square pole fixture, to fixtures as depicted for PC 25-18 Brown Road Plaza, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based on the following positive economic impact, quality of architectural design, and overall compatibility with the district.
Support.
by Jones. Any public comment? Not, roll call, please.
Gross?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And motion number 9 is the waiver for the tree replacement waiver and contribution to a tree fund for the required number of trees.
I move that the planning commission approve a tree replacement waiver from the required replacement caliper inches to monetary contribution to the tree fund in an amount reasonably related to the cost of the tree replacement being waived for PC 2518 Brown Road Plaza, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. The approval is based upon the following, the site factors, prohibit the planting of 80 trees. And development requirements are also prohibitive, and the site just doesn't allow for that many trees to be replaced. Amount to be determined by the city staff, sorry, yes. Or listen, township, yeah, our planners, our planning and zoning department, the people who work here who know best how much that should be.
Support.
Sorry. Yeah.
Can we add to the motion when that amount is due? And if I may suggest, at the time of the pre-construction
Oh, sure. Amount due at the time of pre-construction.
meeting.
All right.
Amended motion has been supported. Any comments from the public? Seeing none.
Just one quick question. On that plan, those drawings we saw, I know you said you maximize with 30 trees, just making sure that's, because I do love trees, and I think it looks, obviously, the more trees we can have, you're taking down some big ones, but you did kind of maximize what you could put there. I'm kind of trusting in that, and
Absolutely. And
I assume if there's a possibility to put more, you would put more,
put
right?
more in lieu of paying more.
Sure, exactly, okay. Thank you.
Did you do a roll call? Roll call, please.
Gross?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Motion number 10 is the site illumination, which is similar to what we did with what was proposed with the hotel site regarding the maximum foot candle outage.
I move that the planning commission approve a Biz District site illumination lighting waiver from the one maximum foot candle to a maximum of 2.5 foot candles along both the eastern and southern boundary for PC 25-18, Brown Road Plaza located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel number 0932378058, referencing plans, date stamped, received February 20th, 2026. This approval is granted based on the positive economic impact, the quality of architectural design, overall compatibility with the district, and being adjacent to the hotel.
Support.
Support of the motion. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Lovett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
By the end of this thing, we're gonna quiz you on what these parcel ID numbers are, because we've set them 8.
I'm already in my dreams.
Motion to approve the site plan after all these waivers have been granted. I would move that the planning commission approves the site plan approval of PC 2518 for Brown Road Plaza, located at 4961 Georgia Drive, parcels 0932-378-061, and a portion of 4941 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-058. Referencing the plan state stamped received February the 20th, 2026, and the previous 10 waivers that were granted by the planning commission regarding this site. The approval is based upon the following conditions: the creation of the proposed .94 acre parcel, the demolition of the structures of 4941 Georgia Drive, being parcel 0932-378-058, and 4921 Georgia Drive, parcel 0932-378-063. That the cross-access agreement reviewed and approved by the township attorney and staff. That the easements to allow the Hyatt House parking to cross over the parcel boundary reviewed and approved by the township attorney and staff. That addition of text that describes any conditions made to the special land use approval be noted on the plan. that any unresolved issues related to the township planner's report of March the 10th, 2026 be resolved, and any unresolved issues related to the township engineer's report of March the 6th, 2026 also be resolved, and any unresolved issues of the fire marshal's review of March the 5th, 2026 be resolved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any comments from the public? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Urbanowski.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Lovett.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That concludes the approval of PC 2518 for the Brown Road Plaza. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the motions and the lengthy language, too. We appreciate the time.
Okay. Any comments from the public regarding this development? Seeing none. Moving right along, there's no unfinished business. Any public comments regarding from the, there's none, okay. No communications. Don't have any planners report or education, other than we're losing some of our planning staff, and we wish them well in their endeavors in the future. Give them our best, please. Any committee reports? None. There is a future public hearing on April the 1st, 2026 at 7:05. It's a public hearing for PC 2617 Vaughn Road, Vaughn Crossing Special Land Use Request for a car wash located at 4641 South Baldwin Road, parcel 0932 326 015, 4653 South Baldwin Road, parcel 0932 326 016, South Baldwin Road, 4663, parcel 0932 326 017, and 4673 South Baldwin Road being parcel 0932 326 018, and 4693 South Baldwin being parcel 0932 326 019. These properties being located on the east side of Baldwin Road, north of Brown Street. That is a future public hearing for April the 1st at 7:05. As the acting chair, I have no comments.
I hope everyone had a really fun St. Patrick's Day. And I'm looking forward to Friday, which is the first day of spring.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, that's it for me.
Just do something kind for a neighbor.
Ditto that.
Jones? Nothing? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.